Avrodh, directed by Raj Acharya and based on the novel India's Most Fearless, has instilled in me feelings which are so mixed that for the first time in my review, I do not know whether to recommend this series to you or whether I shall ask you to skip this one. If someone asks me an example of something perfectly average, then Avrodh will be the first thing that will come to my mind. Avrodh follows the story of the Uri surgical strike of 2016 carried out by the special forces of the Indian Army in 4 different terrorist bases in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. It was released at a time when the movie Uri is still somewhat fresh in our minds, and it will not at all be unfair to draw comparisons to it. It shines better than Uri in some aspects, but lags in some. Let's start with the positives of the series. Avrodh scores above Uri in being more authentic and detailed. The book upon which it is based is written by Shiv Arur, who has extensively worked in the field of military reporting for over a decade. He has several accolades to his name for his expertise in this field, and hence the material that he lends to the series is solid. Avrodh, being a 9-episode series, explores the story and its intricacies to the fullest. The makers shows us the internal politics of the terror organizations, how they recruit, how they bargain with the ISI, and how they approach and execute plans in intricate details. The army side of things are exceedingly well explored. From army trainings to the political side of things, the interference of foreign powers and diplomatic pressure to manipulate India's decisions are well shown. The story is truly insightful and gives us a lot of information. The main cast comprising of Amit Sadh, Darshan Kumar, Neeraj Kabi and Anil George gives a fervent and a powerful performance. Amit Sadh comes in at the halfway point of the series, and once he takes center stage, it feels like a different series altogether. The pacing increases, a sense of urgency is felt, and the series gathers momentum. Amit Sadh delivers yet another enthralling act, and the viewers will relish it. Darshan Kumar, who stays in the forefront of the story in the first half of the series, has ample screen time, and he doesn't let his director down. In a particular scene with Amit Sadh, which had only 2 lines, Darshan Kumar overshadows him. His acting showcases the character's passion for his motherland but doesn't feel overdramatic at any point. Neeraj Kabi's acting seemed superficial towards the start, but as the episodes went by, he became more and more believable and easy to digest. But honestly, I was expecting a more consistent performance from this man. Anil George too plays the negative role with prowess, and his dialogues and presence brings in a sense of tension and a feeling of imminent doom. Overall, the main cast does their job quite well. Another highlight of this series is the fact that the makers went for a story-centric narrative rather than a protagonist-centric one, unlike in Uri, the surgical strike. There are central characters and more than one of them, but no one is the protagonist. The protagonist is the story itself. It doesn't portray the story through any particular character's perspective. Rather, it goes for an objective approach. This adds to the authenticity and realism of the story, but compromises on the dramatic aspects of it. When you don't tell a story through a character's perspective, you don't get to delve into the inner conflicts and layerings of the character. This results in less dramatic moments and significantly lesser high points in the story, which might disengage a certain section of the viewers, but the makers had a vision which wanted to stick to realism. And I personally commend their decision, which is quite brave in context of the Indian movie landscape. So till now, all seems okay, right? But trust me, it isn't. The series has glaring mistakes in several departments, especially the technical ones, and the one which disturbed me the most was the editing. The editing makes the screenplay suffer a lot. When you have such beautiful camera work and cinematography, why in the right mind will any editor cut scenes so frequently as if to make it feel like a slideshow sometimes, especially in the initial parts? Most of the episode endings are highly abrupt. The editor was extremely lazy in some scene transitions as well, making you feel disconnected in an otherwise gripping narrative. Just as you try to soak your eyes into a beautifully shot scene, the scene or sometimes even the entire sequence changes, and this is too frequent. In the action sequences, the lack of continuity in shots is disengaging to the viewers, and we don't enjoy the action bits as much as we should have. The action choreography too could have been much better for a series like this. The use of action cams and handheld camera saves the war sequences to some extent, making us settle for mediocrity. The VFX and use of green screen is outright pathetic and seems severely outdated for 2020. BGM from JFK, Money Heist, Few Good Men are copied unapologetically. Could you not at least take the trouble of searching something rare to copy from, so that the audience at least takes a while to realize it? Do check it out for yourself if you don't believe me. The performance of the supporting cast is sometimes shallow, and the female lead of the show is the next most annoying thing after Skylar White in Breaking Bad. I absolutely struggle to understand where the makers were going with this character. I couldn't figure out if the director wanted me to empathize for her character or detest her, because from the treatment of the character, it is showcased as a positive one, but the things she does is far from being commendable. I still can't understand the overall impact of her in the story. The rest of the supporting cast is mostly average or sometimes below par. The PM is glorified and treated as one of the central characters, and at times they go too far with the glorification, which is not even subtle. You can tell from the framing and BGM of these scenes that the makers wanted to spread a clear-cut political propaganda through their storytelling. These aspects pull back the web series, which otherwise shows great promise. So let's come to the verdict for this series. You can watch this series if you want to know the intricate details of the Uri attack and the surgical strike that followed, but don't expect too many high points and drama. The action is only towards the beginning and the end. If you like dramatic war films, go for Uri instead. But if you are more keen on the backstory, go for Avrodh. Overall, a perfectly average watch, but totally bingeable. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked it. Thanks for staying till the end. Please do hit on the like and subscribe button before leaving. And also leave your comments in the comment section so that I get to know if you like this movie and like my review or not. Thank you for watching. Goodbye. See you next time.